G'day. So finally getting around to doing a oil change on the diff. Now this is something I have neglected for years, sad to say. It's always one of those things that, you know, it's really easy to do. You're like, yeah, I'll get to it next month, I'll get to it the next month, and you're like, I'll get around to it, and it never happens. Well, at the moment, I've got the car on ramps because I have an annoying clunking sound when I'm driving. Now, it's really strange because it doesn't matter if I accelerate softly or if I accelerate like aggressively. If I'm on smooth road, I don't hear it. But if I'm on a bumpy road, it doesn't matter if I just feather the acceleration or if I gun it. The new puppy, the car makes a clink clink sound when I accelerate. I've got one under here with a bar, and I've tried to wiggle things around, and the only thing I've found that's a little bit loose is the bushing for the sway bar on one side. So I'll try and look into replacing that later on. But anyway, I don't know what that noise is, so I figured while the car's up, I might as well do the diff, and I've already tapped at that, so it's loose. Now, I've had someone comment once before that Falcons these days are all metric, and I used imperial sizes to do the front end once before. I know that the power steering pressure switch, the original one was imperial to get it off. There's no way you could put a 14mm on there and turn it, and but the replacement one was metric. Now we've got an interesting size mismatch here. So this is 15mm to drain the sump. Okay, that's 15mm, but the filler plug is 1/1/8 inch, where a 30mm will go on it, but it's, you know, if you go 29 it won't fit. 30 is really loose, but 1/1/8 that's a solid fit. So we've got both imperial and metric on the diff. I'm just going to take this off. I don't know if there's any oil going to come out. I've never done an oil change on this diff. Just been really tardy about it, you know, just keep on putting it off. Now I know that the diff obviously has had a leak, but is there any oil left in it? Because you can see from the darkness that it's all dry now, but over the years there's obviously been something going on back here that I've not noticed. Never noticed any oil at the back of the car. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, we still got oil. Good stuff. I'll let that drain out, and hopefully the new puppy doesn't think that it's some sort of yummy sugar fluid. I have to watch out for the dog doesn't come over. I might actually bottle that to see how much came out. But I think I do have to do a main seal on this diff. After I put the new oil in, I'll keep an eye on it and see if it starts to leak oil. I'm shocked actually. I didn't think any oil would come out. I thought it probably would have hardened up, you know, thickened up over the years and just been all clunky inside. I'll just let that go. So that's pretty much stopped there now. I've gone ahead and loosened the filler plug. It was only just put the socket on because it's only the thread doesn't stick out that far. I put it on, just gave it a good whack, and it came loose on the first tap. So take that out. I'm going to put some former gasket on it, which is kind of like that thicker gasket good stuff. Clean those areas up and put it back together. I didn't get any new crush washers to put on. This one didn't have a crush washer, so with a bit of former gasket put back on there, it shouldn't be a problem. Same with up there. I put former gasket on both sides of that washer and put it back on. Shouldn't be a problem, but if it is, then I'll fix it up later. Let's give this a bit of a clean here. Former gaskets, the stuff I'm talking about. Put that on here. Okay, as I get close to the end there, it starts to squeeze out. I'll clean that up in a minute. You see it's all squeezing out there now. I know that it's got a nice seal there. Okay, now we can put some oil in. The cheapest way to do this with putting oil in is to get one of those pump. You can get a pump container from Super Cheap and other auto stores. Then you put the oil in, you pump the container up, pumps the oil in. But those containers that you do that with, I found that only a one-time use. And each time, the first time you use them, fantastic. Go to use them again a second time, air leaks everywhere in the seals. It don't work a second time. Perhaps if you just kept on using them, you know, if you're using it regularly, it might be okay. But a once-off, you use it to do the transmission, and then a year later you don't use it for a year, you do another transmission, and then it don't work, and you're like, geez, I just wasted money for one change, you know. So I bought myself a little 12-volt pump that has been paying off. The first couple of uses it seized up, and I had to pull it apart, put it back together. But since then it's been working fantastic. So it bleeds that way. Put that in there, and I'll just keep feeding it until you see oil coming out. That's the little pump there I'm talking about. And you can see how slow that fluid is travelling because it's so thick. But once the air gets out of there, it does start to pump a little bit quicker, but it is slow, you know, being really thick oil. I've got the hose too far in, it's obviously coming out. All these things happen. There you go. You let it go. And the hose was just too far in and curved back around and came back out to the top. Okay, well that's doing its thing now, so I'll just monitor that until I see oil coming out the top there. Put the camera back on the job. I actually think I've got a bit of time before that starts to drip, so I'm going to transfer what came out of the diff into a bottle just to get an idea of how much was still in there. Well, the good news is over a litre came out. I did spill a little bit as I was filling up the 2 litre container, but yeah, a lot more than I expected. So this process here is pretty slow with this pump, being a thick oil, but it is what it is. It'll get there. Right, you can see that's overflowing now, so that's pumps off. I've got the filler plug ready to go back on. Actually, pump doesn't fall over. Not too bad. Nothing a bit of degrees I can't fix. Okay. I'll just give that a bit of a clean around there and we're done. I think I had 2.5 litres still in this container because I've used it for other things. Needs about 2 litres, I'd say. I was definitely low on diff oil. I'm glad that's done. And just, yeah, like I said, I'll get the pump out of the way, give this a clean up. That ended the job, give it a good clean. So now when she leaks, I'm going to see exactly where she's leaking from. She's leaking around anywhere around here. I know she's probably going to leak from the main seal, but that's alright. That'll be a later job, later video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. The filler plug is 1/8 inch. Now, I had somebody comment once before that the car, right, I've got to get rid of this dog.